Hey everybody, it's Gabe from Ceramic Pro Pottstown and Total Detailing. We are back in the shop today with a brand new Lucid AIR GT. We're going to be installing Ceramic Pro coatings, Ceramic Pro KAVACA IR window film, and Ceramic Pro KAVACA ceramic coated paint protection film. We're going to be covering every single inch of this Lucid with protective measures. So the wheels, the interior, and it's going to look absolutely fantastic when we're done. But first, we're going to take a look around the car before we start our wash and prep process. We're going to grab an inspection light and we're going to go around the car with you and go over, see what we find. We're probably going to find things like misaligned panels. We'll find things like unfinished wet sanding. We'll find things like dirt nibs and leftover adhesive. You know, we're going to find all those quality control issues, and we just want to make sure that we document them so that way you know what to expect from a brand new car, what should and shouldn't be acceptable in terms of accepting the car for delivery, and what you should probably open a support ticket for. We're going to go around the car, we're going to see what's worth documenting and what is worth opening a support ticket for. I'm pretty certain that this got delivered in pretty good shape, so I don't think we're going to find a ton. I could be wrong. Let's get around the car and take a look here. So we're going to just take our inspection light. We're going to see what we find in the paint. Not seeing too much just yet. So let's come down and start looking at the bumper. This thing is massive and it's going to catch a ton of air when this thing is driving. So this is a massive air dam. So I look around the hood here. I think that the bumper is shifted towards the driver's side. You see, look at the gap through here. You'll see this is pretty wide, right in this area here. All the gasketing in general is where it should be, although this isn't perfect. It looks like this had been previously handled and pulled apart. Everything else looks to be pretty normal. You can see here's a piece of trim that's not fully seated. You can see how this kind of flexes like this. I can pull on it. So the rest of it is pretty secure, but this tip here, we'll probably have to put some adhesive or some double-sided tape inside of that. And when I pull on this, everything else seems to be where it should be. So remember, this is a $140,000 car. Now, I'm just lightly pressing on this upper fascia here, and it's flexing. So, whether that's to build quality or what, I don't know. But you see here, like just me touching it a little bit has greasy fingerprints all over it already. Nice standard water spots. Let's keep coming around here. So here's a few scratches right here. These look like towel swipes, or like somebody was like rubbing a towel across here to get off transportation adhesive. Here's a couple of scratches here. You can actually feel these. This one actually travels all the way up into the upper fascia here. So I don't think these are super crazy, but this isn't paint, so this is probably gonna have to stay. Because you can't really polish stuff like this to make it go away. Now, if you come around here, remember the other side, this was loose. This was really loose on the other side. Like, I could pull it away. This is definitely clipped into place where it should be here. And we notice here that the gap between the bumper and the fender is much smaller. So I was right when I said the bumper was tilted and twisted. So let's keep working our way around the car here. Let's see what we find. This is the charge port here. Everything else, all this looks good. Check these mirrors out. Everything looks like it's where it should be. Right now we're just looking for more defects in the paint. You see that's got this gloss black trim down the bottom here. This is going to become a nightmare if it's not covered in paint protection film. So if you look down the side of the car in both directions, the wheels stick out beyond the bottom end of the car. So that means that they're going to get hit with rocks as you're driving the vehicle. So it's not as dramatic on the front as it is on the back. There's actually way more exposed here. And rest assured, rocks fly in both directions. So the rear wheels will send them forward, the front wheels will send them backwards, and before you know it, the whole side of this is going to be covered in rock chips. That's just kind of the way it goes. All right, let's come up and look at this. So this is a great example of misalignment. So if you look at this trim here, you see how high this is, and the gasket's nice and tight. But when we come to the back door here, look at this difference. That's a big difference. Like, there's a massive gap here. And it looks like this is aligned properly with the back window, but it doesn't match here. So that very well may be by design. We don't know. Let's keep working around the car here. We can see, if we look in this crack here, we can see there's some, looks like liquid gasket that's kind of like bulging out from underneath of this. Not really a big deal, but again, you know, that's our job to find these things. This is a great example of kind of the manufacturing quality issues that you have with newer vehicle manufacturers. This is the quarter panel and the trunk. There's a big height difference here. Like, the trunk sits significantly lower than the quarter panel. Check that out. That's a big difference. Now again, you know, just because I'm finding this and I pointed this out doesn't necessarily mean that it's a problem for you. As long as things aren't leaking, things aren't rattling and making noises, I think that you should probably be okay with it. Again, you know, that's completely up to you and subjective to you and your opinion and what you want your car to be, right? So here we're going to look at this rear piano trim. So you'll see, if you focus on this, you'll see that this is swirled all over. See all the swirls? And it's all over this. Like, each front to back, side to side, it is covered in swirls. And that's typical of anything gloss black. So that tells me that this is very soft. So I'm willing to bet that if I take my finger and I rub this up and down, that we're going to create vertical scratches. Look at that, we are. Look at this. Now look at how much worse this is, right? Again, these are all surface-related things that we're causing, so this will come out with a quick polish, but this is a great example of how soft these piano blacks are. So let's get down and take a look at this rear trunk. Listen to this. I'm going to try and get close so you can hear it. I can hear plastic clips moving. Again, I'm leaning on this pretty hard, so I would expect it. This is more of that like chromium trim, brushed trim. This is still pretty loose. Let's see what happens when we open this. Nope. I'm just kind of still checking around here. Everything looks pretty good here. Let's swing around the passenger side. So here's a great example. Now look at the gap on this, the height difference. This is way more uniform than the other side. Like, this is, and even still, like, I'm pressing on this quarter panel, it's moving. So that tells me that the gasketing, the double-sided sticky gasket in there, probably needs to be adjusted. Again, I'm not sure that this is anything you need to like harass Lucid over. Again, it's completely up to you and what you want for your car. Let's keep working our way down here. Now here you can see, look at this. Remember we had that big, massive height difference again on the driver's side. Now it's more equal in height, but it looks like the passenger door is pushed outward some. So, and of course this is all scratched, typical of gloss plastics. What I see is, now if you look, you see how the light bends and changes here? So what you should be seeing is the fluorescent light in the ceiling moving and like bending around a certain spot. That's probably gonna come out with a little PDR. Maybe we'll be able to glue pull that. So there's a ton of texture in the paint we're seeing through here. That's indicative of just standard factory finishing. They didn't take a ton of time to, compound and polish it out. We're gonna take care of all that. Again, orange peel and texture, not necessarily a big deal. That's why you have a detailer. That's our job to take care of those things. Trim that's around the back side of the hood. Again, super bouncy and flexible. Not really, I don't know, it doesn't scream $140,000 to me, if I'm super honest with you. The car doesn't have that kind of fitment, I don't think. So we went around the car. We found some minor issues. There's some standard handling scratches and towel marks, a couple of scuffs. We found the ding on the passenger A-pillar. That'll probably come out with a quick glue pull. We found some panel gap and alignment issues. Nothing super crazy, but I think that the rear bumper is something that I would probably address at some point, and the rear driver's door being completely out of alignment. I would probably seek to have that remedied as well, although this particular Lucid owner really didn't find that to be a huge problem. You may just make sure that you report those things within your delivery time frame window, which is usually both metered by days and mileage. So make sure that you have those things looked at and documented with Lucid so that they can be addressed. So the next step in our process is we're going to begin our exterior detail and prep. So we're going to wash the car, we're going to decontaminate it, and then we're going to move to paint correction. So we're going to start the wash and prep process now.